learned from so many different teachers, spiritual teachers, personal growth teachers, and coaches. And I always hear the same bit of wisdom, and that is that unhappiness is the space, the gap between where you are now and where you think you want to be or should be. So it's in that in between space, right? You're at point A and you want to get to point B, and the happiness is in between there. But while you're still at A and want to be at B, you're unhappy, right? And so we tend to think that what will make us happy is to be at point B, right? That if we have X, Y, or Z, then we will be happy. And that could be anything. We could be at point A and think point B is a new job or a raise or new money, more money in general. Getting married, getting a puppy, being healthier, whatever it is. But we think that having X, Y, or Z will make us happy. And as long as we don't have it, we're at point A and we're unhappy, right? Because we want to be at B, we want to have that thing. And we're actually not really at point A, we're in the middle. We're going, I'm here, and there's this la land between point A and point B. It's that gap between, that space between where you are and where you want to be or think you should be. But as long as you're focused on the wanting to be at point B, that you don't have what you want already, haven't created it, haven't gotten there, then you're in that gap, right? Because you're not really in the present moment. You're wishing for the future moment, right? And so you're not here and you're not there. You're in the middle. You're in the gap. Does that make sense to you? So you're not focused on the present moment and where you are in your current situation as much as you are focused on what you want, where you want to be. And so that places you smack in that gap, in La La Land. And so the problem with that is that you're constantly seeing a future that has different circumstances, and it makes you more aware that you're not there yet. So you're focused on that future that you hope for, and knowing that you aren't there puts you in this whirlwind, right? This black hole, that gap, and you're just not focused on the present at all. And so as long as you're focused on where you want to be and not on where you are, and not being happy with where you are, then you're going to be unhappy. You're going to be unhappy with where you are and how you feel as you're wishing to be somewhere else. You can't feel happy and satisfied because you want to be there and you're here. But you're really not here. You're somewhere in this gap. And so how do you be happy when you're not yet at point B? You're still at point A. How do you get out of that gap between point A and point B, which only can make you unhappy? So there are a couple ways. The first is to feel grateful, because when you're grateful for the present, first of all, it puts you in the present, right? So you're going to be in the present moment when you're grateful for the things that you have now in your life. And that's going to change your energy. And it's hard to create what we want, or even to do the things, to take the actions to get to point B, when we're unhappy and unfulfilled. So we have to actually become present and be grateful for what we have now. And then every manifestation teacher is going to tell you that it's all about your energy. And so if you're unhappy and frustrated and all those things with not being at point B, then your energy is not going to be the type of energy that will help you manifest what you want anyway. So be present, get present now, and then be grateful for what you have now. And try to find ways to be happy now. So that's another tip, is to actually do things that make you happy. You can be silly, you can dance, you can sing, you can go out with friends, you can go horseback riding, you can go for a walk in nature, you can pet your cat, whatever makes you happy. but do things that make you happy now, despite all your circumstances, despite not being at point B yet. Be happy. The other thing is to have faith. Have faith that you're moving in the direction of point B, that you're taking that journey to get there, right? That you already have what you want. You have to have faith in that, because as long as you don't have faith, then it's like saying, I want this and can't have it. And that's going to make you perpetually unhappy. So see yourself moving in that direction, or see that thing already coming to you. It's about having a positive mindset. I mean, faith is really believing in the unseen, right? A lot of people say, I'll believe it when I see it. Faith is, I'll see it when I believe it. And so you have to believe it. And that's a positive mindset. That's the mindset of, it's already coming to me. I know it's coming to me. The universe has my back. Everything that's for my highest good is coming to me. So shift into that positive mindset and have faith, right? That's going to help you a lot to not feel that unhappiness in the gap between point A and point B. Also, imagine yourself already being at point B. See, feel, and hear everything that it would be like to be at point B, as if you're already there, because that changes your neural pathways. Number one, the more you imagine or visualize yourself already being at point B, you see it, you feel it, you hear it, it's like you can touch it and taste it, right? The more you do that, the more your brain changes. So all the neural pathways that say, no, that's not where you are, that's not where you are, they start saying, yes, you are. Not to mention that your brain doesn't know the difference between what's real and what isn't real. And so, what you imagine, it knows what's real and what's not real, but it doesn't know the difference between what you visualize or imagine and what is real. And so the more you visualize that or imagine yourself already at point B, the more likely it is that your brain is going to believe that that can happen. Okay. The other thing about that is, I'm just looking at my notes, is also because we want to get the subconscious on board. And, you could do this with hypnosis as well. You could go into a state of self-hypnosis, but you can do even just with 7-11 breathing. Breathe in 7 through the nose, out 11 through the mouth. Go online, Google it, and you'll see you can drop into a state of hypnosis, self-hypnosis, and you could visualize it that way. And then you get the subconscious on board, and you get the subconscious believing that you are already at point B. The last thing I want to talk about is not comparing yourself to comparing where you are to where you want to be. So a lot of unhappiness in that gap between point A and point B comes from comparison. My life is like this, I'm at point A, and I want my life to be like this at point B. And then the more I compare my life now and my circumstances with my life and my circumstances if I was already there, the more I'm stuck in that gap of unhappiness. And it's the comparison. So you have to, again, be grateful for where you are now and appreciative of that. And be present in this moment so that you can enjoy it and stop the comparison. Comparisons never make us happy. If you want to be happy, stop comparing yourself to anything. I was going to say even to yourself, but sometimes we can't even compare, make that comparison, where who we want to be and who we are at the moment. So those kind of comparisons don't help us be happy ever. The other part about all of this is, I talk a lot about identity as a transformational coach. I talk a lot about identity. And the issue is that if you have the identity of the person at point A, you're again putting yourself in that unhappy gap between who you are and who you want to be, right? Who you are now, point A and point B, right? It's the same. So who you are now, you're comparing to who you want to be at point B. And that is a recipe for unhappiness as well. But if you decide to actually be the person who is already at point B, to be that person, you'll begin behaving like that person. You'll have the mindsets of that person. You'll have the habits of that person. You'll have the enjoyment of that person, the happiness of that person. And so you get out of the gap because you've already put yourself at point B. Now, I understand your circumstances may not have changed yet. Excuse me, lots of pollen in the air. You may not already be there, but you're behaving like you are. And that makes you happier because you're saying, okay, that person would have these habits. If I take on the identity of that person who's already where I want to go, then I have their habits and their mindsets, and I can already be happy because I'm that person. And that person can create that because they already did. And so that's going to make you happier. Otherwise, you're always stuck between the place between, where you are and where you want to be, who you are and who you want to be. And that is really a miserable place to be. So get yourself out of that gap. Really, one of the best ways to get yourself out of that gap is just to choose to be the person who's already where you want to go, right? Who's already accomplished that, who is already at point B, right? Who's where you want to be. So shift your identity first and foremost, and then, be in the moment, feel grateful, be happy, have faith and a positive mindset, and stop comparing yourself and stop comparing your circumstances. Okay. So all of these things are going to get you out of that gap between where you are and where you want to be and make you a lot happier. I'd love to hear your thoughts about this. I know this is always a tough thing to manage, to be happy where you are when you really want to be somewhere else or feel like you should be somewhere else. So let me know what's worked for you in the past, or what questions you have, or what struggles you have. Leave me a comment down below this video. Or if you're watching this video on my website because you're reading the associated blog post, leave a comment there. But tell me, what are you struggling with when it comes to finding happiness when you're not where you want to be yet? When you're when you're stuck in that space between where you want to be and where you are. Okay, I will answer and offer you a little bit of support and coaching right in the comment section. So that's it for today. If you haven't met me before, I'm Nina Amir, the Inspiration to Creation Coach. I am a transformational coach and a certified high performance coach. I love helping people step into being their best self and getting out of their own way, because so they can get from where they are to where they want to go. The only thing standing in the way of that is you. And it's, maybe not easy, but it's possible to get you out of the way. It is. And that's done with personal and spiritual growth. I offer both personal and spiritual growth with certified high performance coaching and transformational coaching, and spiritual and personal growth trainings in the Inspired Creator Community. So the link for the Inspired Creator Community is above. I would love for you to join. I'm just so excited to always have the interesting conversations about how we can get out of our own way, how we can become our best selves, how we can, what it is we're struggling with, and how we move beyond that, and how we remember who we really are, which is a spiritual being having a human physical experience, which is why I offer personal and spiritual growth in the Inspired Creator Community, because I want to address all of who you are, right? But I love having these conversations that elevate us, that elevate our consciousness and our understanding, and remind us that we are a spark of divinity housed in this physical body. So if you're interested in that kind of coaching, that kind of transformational coaching and learning, click on the link above, join the Inspired Creator Community. Okay? Until then, go out there and achieve more inspired results.